Hey everybody, welcome to Pokemon Perfect's ADV Championship for 2021. I figured that covering this event not only would be entertaining for you guys, but it's something to kill the time between now and when SPL gets figured out. Manager signups are going to close this Saturday, and then whatever time after that, they're going to announce their selections. Fingers crossed that Bush and I get it, but that is far from certain and yet to be determined at this time. So, I figured I'd bring you this tour. It is a 16-person tournament. It is 16 people who qualify, that is. The entire first round already played out. I didn't want to bring that many matches because it's a lot of narrating, but I figured I'd cover this tour from the top 8 on, and you're going to recognize a lot of these players because maybe not so much in the other tiers with no offense intended to anybody, but the ADV player quality on Pokemon Perfect is quite high, and a lot of these guys are very good. It's certainly among the championship tours that we're running, looks to me on paper like the one with the most overall talent and the most overall solidness, but who knows? Either way, this is a round of 8 matchup. Like I said, these guys have all already beaten one opponent, and it's going to be Zacpz, who I believe you've seen on the channel before. Maybe, probably, yeah, I think he played Fight Night one time, and Kerts, who you should be familiar with. Not only is he someone who's been good on ladder for a lot of years, but he was in Kalos Invitational 5 play-ins, and then kind of sorta in the main event. Let's not get into that drama. He's very well known and respected within the ADV community. The guy can definitely play. So, let's get into it between these two. It is a best of 3, all tournament long in the round of 8 Pokemon Perfect's 2021 ADV Championship. Zach's got a Smeargle, which is pretty uncommon, and then the very, very common T-Tar on the top for Kerts. Interestingly, it is no lefty Smeargle, some kind of Pinchberry perhaps. Spore Spikes with nothing back is a pretty good start. And it's a long nap for T-Tar as layer number 3 of Spikes comes down. Meta comes at this point, and that eats an Earthquake, so obviously won't live another. And now Skarm comes in. Meteor Mash, non-choice band. I mean, we already knew that it had lefties, but you could tell by the damage if there was any doubt. And now the spikes start coming down for Kerts. So 3 layers to 1, and Spore again, because why not? This time it's going to be Skarm taking the nap as opposed to T-Tar. And now Gengar comes in. However, this nap, far shorter than T-Tar's was, he's going to wake up and get another layer down. Thunderbolt 75%. Roar, nothing new, it's just the Metagross, which is getting low now that it came in on the spikes. Gonna Meteor Mash for lack of anything better to do, and that'll be roared out as well. That's going to prompt out an Aerodactyl that was previously unrevealed, but he's not comfortable with that, and he goes to Gengar, which is going to allow a 3rd layer of spikes from Kerts, so both players with 3 layers. However, the first knockout of the game goes to Zacpz, killing the Skarm with a Thunderbolt, and he's got the lead. Jolteon coming in, so that's going to be pretty indicative. It could have been anything before, but now it's pretty clear what Kerts' archetype is. He's got himself a Jolt Spike stack. Zach is going to explode, trying to hit the Jolteon, but Kerts baited that out very well and goes to his own Gar. He blows on that instead, which is obviously way worse because he blows into thin air, and now the game has been equalized. Non-CB Arrow, it's that substitute set. Doesn't like Swampert, switches out of the way, Smeargle gets foddered off, and Kerts, after making a nice play and then getting some nice little matchup action going on, is going to take the lead here. 4-5 for him with unrevealeds in the back. Ice Punch fails to break the sub, but Zach doesn't anticipate that, and he goes for Substitute again, which does nothing. Now Taunt preventing yet another Substitute use. Kerts outplaying Zach here. This Ice Punch will pop it, obviously. And an unlucky Hydro Pump miss for Zach, but that would not have killed. We're not in Torrent range. And Zach decides it's time to go to his last poke. That's T-Tar, comes in on Will-O-Wisp, and does not have a Lumberry. He's just holding lefties. That better be Pursuit Tar. It is some kind of special Tar. He goes Fire Blast and gets a lucky 10% burn. Gar obviously doesn't like that, as most pokes don't. T-Bolt, a lot. Ice Beam, not enough, even with the burn. Leaves him at 4%. And that's going to enable effectively a trade. The advantage being Kerts, though, because he gets to decide what he wants to switch into, whatever Zach did, which turned out to be the Aerodactyl, so the obvious switch, of course, the Swampert. Hydro Pump missing at a bad time for Kerts. That may give Zach a little bit of momentum here. Double Edge and Ice Beam, respectively, sure. Double Edge again, and Kerts allows it. Down that goes. So T-Tar coming back in for Kerts. It's got lefties. Meta down to just 20%. And it will survive Rock Slide here, so if he's faster than Tar, he's got an opportunity to do something. Last poke Zap for Kerts. Well, that's not going to do much. Instantly boomed on. Leaves us in a 2-2 situation. Could all come down to a speed tie here. And Aerodactyl wins that speed tie. Substitute and Thunderbolt respectively. Ew. And now Jolteon just Thunderbolts? Man, I don't get that at all. Why do you not just click Earthquake? Why substitute there? And now the Jolteon just cleans it up. You're playing for a speed tie win. Zach wins the speed tie, but he went for substitute. What's the point? I don't get the sub there at all, because if you go first, we see exactly what happened. You sub, it gets popped, who cares? If you go second, you just die to the Thunderbolt before you even make the substitute. So I don't get the point either way. I don't see what going down to Lychee Berry does for you here. I mean, you got to win 2 speed ties, 3 speed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That felt like a choke to me. But Kerts is going to take game 1. But it's a best of 3. So let's get into game 2 and see if things are a little different. Did Zach? Ooh, look at that. Look at this fancy guy changing up his avatar in between games. Oh, shit's getting real. He's no longer the kicking back, relaxing, music listening guy here. Fuck that. He is on his bike and shit has gotten real. We don't see that very often, people changing up their avatar in between games, but it happened here. His big boy avatar is in the house. Kerts better watch out. T-Tar on the bottom for Zach. Kerts on top with Immense. Intimidate relevant. Neither one likes the matchup. Fori on Gar. Kerts still doesn't like it. And Zach's going to taunt the Fori. Interesting. He might have just taunted a Pursuit Tar. And indeed, that's what happens here. Pulls it back, gets instantly pursuited for a whopping 86%. And your switch into T-Tar is Mantine? I don't know about all that. Interesting early game here, but Kerts clearly feels ahead in my view. And that is a poor turn for Zach, who, like I said, I think is already behind. Eats a Toxic, misses a Fire Blast, and now he's going to hit Fire Blast, but without a crit or a burn, I don't think it matters. And Rachi might have Protect. Here's Dougie. It does have Protect, so Dougie comes in now, and this should kill the Rachi, probably, usually, maybe. Earthquake for a lot. Toxic, sure. He can Protect here, but it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a Protect or two to kill the Dugtrio this way. Might as well milk it as much as you can and get that Toxic damage going. But it's only going to be the one Protect. The second one, a 50-50, doesn't get there. Earthquake kills the Rachi, and Zach has the air quotes lead. But I still actually like Kerts' position here, given some of the plays that have already been made, given the damage on the Gengar, etc. So, we end up with 1 layer each. Now Mantine comes in, takes about a 4th from Dragon Claw. Mantine, for all of its flaws, and believe me, it has many, it's a pretty gimmicky mon, it actually does have very high base special defense, so it takes Dragon Claw, handles Mixed Ments in general pretty well. Surf on Fori there, an unexciting 26%, and here comes another lair for Kerts, so 2-to-1 lair advantage for him. He goes to his own Gar to block a spin. Zach spins right into it, didn't see that coming, unfortunately. And now Ments is going to come in, thinking there's no way that he rapid spins again. And Zach is not able to make that prediction. Rapid spinning again there would have been a great play, but he's not able to do it out of the way of what he thinks will be a Brick Break, and it is. So now Zach is going to outpredict Kerts and get a little bit of momentum back. Gengar with an opportunity to do something here, and Will-O-Wisp on the Mixed Ments is pretty good. Makes the Brick Breaks not that scary, gets the residual damage on it. That is not a bad thing to do on the way out at all. So, 5-5 with an unrevealed in the back for both. And very underwhelming Ice Beam at just 9%. Ew. Even the Surf, the Stab Surf, might I add, doing only 27%. Mantine's special attack stat is pretty bad. And God, this is a stally McStallerson team here. Steelix is the last mon for Zach. He does catch the Fori on a boom, which does almost nothing into Steelix, so that's going to give Zach the lead now at 5-4, but we do still have the hidden poke for Kerts. He protects here to get burn damage and to waste PP and to get lefties. All good things for Zach. And he goes for the protect again. Interesting. I wonder if that was just getting greedy or if he knew that the Mence was not going to stay in. Kurt shows the obvious last poke. Pert, which I can't imagine what else it would have been. Doll, I guess, but like Pert. And that's going to eat a Toxic here in exchange for a big, super effective Surf on the Steelix. Steelix doing work here. So far, so good with the Iron Snake. Mantine dodging Toxic is good for Zach, bad for Kerts. Zach seems to have really stabilized and taken the lead in this game. He's going to go Surf, and he's willing to eat a Toxic. So, let's see what happens from here. Pert getting low now for Kerts. Salamence coming into the Mantine, and there is a rest. I don't think the Salamence can do anything meaningful to the Mantine here, and he's under the pressure of the burn. Here's Gengar. That could certainly do things to Mantine. Mantine is not a fan of the 4x weak Thunderbolt that Gengar probably has, and that's exactly what he goes for. That's going to blank on Steelix, but something like a Fire Punch here will clean him up, no problem. He's going to go for Ice Punch, which, depending on the EVs of both, is probably a roll. Now T-Tar comes in, and it's a failed double protect again. So Zach really likes clicking protect with his Steelix. And Fire Blast is going to be blanked, so there's 43% Steelix. Now Mantine comes in, Crunch, 26%, sure. Mantine's still asleep. Crunch again, 28%, and a Specs drop, which makes it a little bit awkward here if he goes for Pursuit. Stays in and surfs, and he crunches instead. So that's going to put Mantine in a damned if you do, damned if you don't position at 10%. He's going to try to stall the T-Tar out by going for rest, but these crunches at this point are doing way more damage than he can handle. However, he's not able to predict the switch out turn and get the pursuit off. Instead, he ends up crunching into the tower, which is far less exciting. Now Fire Blast comes down. That's also an overprediction. He gets roared out and he sees the Mantine again, which the Specs drop, of course, is now gone. I believe he's killed one sleep turn. That was 2. No, I guess that was sleep turn 1. So there's Crunch. Stays asleep. Crunch again, 12%, no Specs drop though. Probably just going to rest here. Switching, I mean, pretty risky business, so it's unlikely Kerts pursuits. It is rest, it is Crunch, 27% the verdict here. Not sure how long Zach wants to play this game, though he could entertain foddering something. I don't know that it would be the Mantine, because it's by far your best bet against the Mence. But I might fodder something and then follow up with the Doug Trio here to kill the Tar. That's getting harder and harder to do, though. He's still going to rest. He's not going to trade the Mantine. He could have just surfed there and then followed up with the Dougie for the kill. But like I said, that frees up special threats. I guess specifically the Salamence, because the Mantine was never really stopping the Gengar anyway. There's a 41% pursuit after a Specs drop on the way out. So Mantine pretty banged up. Rock Slide an underwhelming 26%, but he does get the flinch. Toxic ticking down against Zach's T-Tar, though. Now he misses Rock Slide, only to be roared out. And now it's Dougie. You gotta stay in and just do it now. You gotta just click Earthquake. And he does, and that's gonna take the tower out and further the lead for Zach. 5-3 now, but Gengar and Mence both looking menacing at this point. Gengar in particular looks quite difficult with what Zach has left. The Gengar really could clean this game up for Kerts. He's going to give up his Dougie, and Kerts just clicking Will-O-Wisp over and over again. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Toxic going to be good enough. Will-O-Wisp missing on Fori is interesting, but Zach is picking a bad time to get cute and over-predict Rapid Spin, which does nothing. Now he's going to be burnt, and he decides now's the time to reestablish spikes. Only one poke on the other side. The Swampert cares about those. Taunt, and that's going to prevent additional spikes as the burn continues to do its thing. Thunderbolt, because, well, against Fori, that's his best bet. That's Hidden Power Bug, which is 4x resisted and weakened by the burn, so 4 whole % is what we get out of that. And he's done. Fuck that. I'm blowing up. Blows into Gengar, leaves us in a 3-3. Now Steelix going to try his luck. I don't know what he's got to hit the Gar either. He has shown Protected Toxic only. Presumably he has Earthquake. Maybe he has Rock Slide or HP Steel or something like that, but he could just have Boom or Roar. It's totally possible that this Steelix can't actually beat the Gengar or touch the Gengar even. And apparently that is the case. Zach is going to concede at this point. He had a 5-3 lead, but he's going to pack it up. He is going to get cleaned up by the Gar here. Steelix evidently can't touch it. Mantine would just die to Thunderbolt, and the only thing that would leave him with is a 16% Toxic Inflicted T-Tower that would just die to the residual damage, the spikes, the Toxic, etc. pretty quickly. The Gengar is going to clean up as it often does. Zach's team on paper seems very weak to it, and this matchup played out the way that it was pretty much always going to play out. Gengar is a poke that Zach's team just does not want to see, and, well, he saw it. So, Kerts with the 2-0 victory over Zach here. I think the guy who played better in the series did go on to win, so that's the way that it should be in a just and fair world. Kerts 2, Zach 0. Zach out of the tournament, but I mean, he had to qualify for this tournament to begin with, so he obviously had a decent year in ADV on Pokemon Perfect. I appreciate Zach in general because he's a cool guy, and I appreciate Zach playing on Pokemon Perfect, so thank you for that. You guys will see Kerts in the round of 4, but we still have 3 more matches that have not yet played at the time of this recording in the round of 8, so let's see how that plays out first. Thank you guys for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it. Wish me luck in SPL. Hopefully, maybe, fingers crossed. And I will see you guys in the next video.